December 4th, 2025. The time is 6 p.m. and this is the Acushnet Planning Board. This meeting is being recorded for future viewing on the town's YouTube page, the local cable channel, and we are live tonight via Zoom. Can I get a motion to open the planning board meeting?
Motion to open the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have a quorum tonight. Can we all introduce ourselves, please?
Victoria Alfaro, Town Planner.
Peter Guyappa, member. Steve Boucher, member.
Mark Francois, Chairman.
Brian Deschamps, member.
Rick Ellis, Vice Chairman.
Okay, gentlemen. Victoria sent us all a copy of the minutes from the November 20 meeting. Everybody was in attendance. Did everybody have a chance to read these over? Any questions, comments, concerns?
I make a motion to accept the minutes, the November 20th minutes as written.
We have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right. Continued site plan review and special permit of 1094 Main Street, Clems Way, map 7, lot 15, applicant Clems Way Solar LLC and Rewild Renewables, owner Brookside Realty Trust, representative Beals and Thomas Inc. The scope of the work is a proposed 5 megawatt solar AC solar array. Gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Zachary Farkas for the applicant, Rewild Renewables, with me, Greg Sampson, attorney. As you guys know, we opened the hearing on October 2nd, where I gave a very detailed project overview, talked about the development path, the entitlement path, etc. I was back in front of this board on the 20th of November, where we reviewed a number of homework assignments that were kind of given to the applicant from that opening meeting. And then we talked through a number of issues and ultimately got a few more open items that I think we were all looking to chase down for this meeting. The first was the simplest one, updating the plans to remove the panels inside the 150-foot setback. So those panels, we talked about that in great detail. Those panels have now been removed on the latest plan set that Victoria has. The second was I was asked to take a field trip out to the Wing Lane site to check on the plantings that were installed at that site. The board had commented that those plantings have really grown well and wanted to make sure we have the same species. Those are green giant, arborvitae. Those are exactly what we have spec'd on our plan set as well. I'll note that those plantings have been in the ground for almost 12 years now. They look great, but just wanted to kind of make that note out there. About a 5-foot berm, and the arborvitae are about 10 feet tall right now, but very wide, very thick. They're planted in a double row, a staggered double row. So same exact species planted on our site. The next was to get on site and do a review of the tree species that were out there, the 12-inch caliper trees that were out there. So the rough count is approximately 75 trees in that back lot. Obviously, no trees are coming down in the western or the central arrays, but that back lot houses about 75 trees. The bylaw is a little bit tricky to read. It kind of delineates trees removed for the project and trees removed for emergency access and other emergency uses. So if you kind of look at where the trees are located, it's a little over 50% are attributed to access ways. And so we're happy to talk with the board on how to commit to planting trees elsewhere on the property or on third-party properties or on town-owned property, whatever's the pleasure of the board, we're happy to agree to. And then finally, I believe the chair was going to reach out with the Conservation Commission and confirm stormwater assumptions that GAF Engineering has already signed off on, but I think you had made a comment that you wanted to check in with Chair Souza over with Conscom.
I did.
Great.
So go ahead, finish, please, finish.
That was the finish. Those are the 4 items that we were looking to chase down, and happy to take any comment or question from the board or the public.
We'll start with the last one, I guess. I did talk to Conservation, Victoria, also with the chair. So, I got an ask, I guess. If it's possible, and Conservation and Planning are in agreement on this, if it's possible to move the spillways at all, even if you were to move the spillways from the basically these two here. Is any way to move the spillways either back away from the property line or off to another side instead of here where it's abutting the property line? If we could put it here, so then if the water does spill over, it continues down slope towards this retention pond down here. The point is to just get the spillways so they're not spilling on to adjacent properties. If there's a way to push them back, if there's a way to move them some other location on the pond, is what we and Conservation are basically looking for, if that's a possibility.
Yeah, I think how can we properly kind of document that? What would be the procedure by which we would kind of communicate to the board after this meeting about adjusting those spillways?
Well, you still have to go through Conservation.
Yep.
You still haven't finished with your stormwater, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That's right.
Well, then, that would be one place where that could be ratified with them, and then they'd close. And we'd make a, if we did end up deciding to close the meeting tonight and voting, we'd make that a stipulation.
Okay. I think, devil's in the details with how it's worded. I'm not, an engineer when it comes to stormwater controls, but I think we're, understanding that if that's a really important item, I'd first say that those spillways are not being counted on in every rain event to transfer stormwater off. It's in an extreme situation where it's gonna happen, and obviously everything we have in front of you guys is, in agreement with kind of mass stormwater standards as well as the town. But hearing the request, we're happy to put forth our efforts, and I think that now that we've got some additional space to play with, perhaps we can get there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm 100%, well, I'm confident that the engineers who designed these ponds and those spillways are designed to handle a 100-year storm. I'm fairly confident that those spillways shouldn't even come into play, and the retention pond should be able to hold. With that being said, there's always that one that will spill over, and the last thing we need are for neighbors or abutters to come in and complain. So to help alleviate that possibility in the future, anything you can do to move that off of the property line, whether it's pushing it back a little bit so it stays on your property, whether it's relocating it to a different section of whatever. I'm not the
Yep.
engineer,
No, I hear you.
but whatever can be done would be appreciated. This is something that we've had a lot of discussion on as a board. As you know, our bylaw is relatively new, and I think this is the second plan that we have under the new bylaw.
Yep.
So there are certain things that are gonna be tweaked on the bylaw, and this is one of them. Again, Conservation can keep an eye on it, because you still gotta go in front of them.
That's right.
If you just, let me know, and we'll put it in as a stipulation that you'll do what you can to move them.
Yeah, we're in front of conservation on the 10th, so that
Yeah.
should give us a little bit of time to make that final change.
That'd be great.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. On to the next request, which was any trees over 12 inches. You said approximately 75, you said?
Yeah, the area that's been disturbed on site is mainly the center of the site, which has been cleared periodically over, the 30 or so years that they've been out there. So we've all kind of identified there's a young growth out there. Even looking through some of the windrows, there's not a lot of big kind of specimen trees out there. As you walk along the property line, that's where we started to see a number of them. That's where we get in the trickiness with the bylaw, because that entire loop around the edge is our ring road for emergency access. So whether or not the bylaw allows us to clear trees for roads, but wants us to contribute trees that are cleared for the project, it's not exactly clear to me what the intent of the bylaw is. So I think we're coming to you saying we're open to whatever you guys want us to do.
If there is room on this project to plant some of the trees, that would be ideal. If the owner of this property owns other property elsewhere, and trees can be planted on that property, that would also be acceptable.
Okay.
I don't know if the owner of this owns other properties, I'm hoping he does.
There's a lot of space on that property, obviously. So.
Yeah, if there's space on this property, and you can, again, I'm gonna say it again, the bylaw is very young, and there are tweaks that gotta be made. This is another one. But it's just something that, if possible, some of this can be replanted somewhere else. It would keep people happy.
We're happy to. I think we, in a number of different towns, they handle this type of thing in different ways. Rochester comes to mind, that has a tree fund where the town can then apply it to public ways, streets, etc. So I'm happy to kind of talk with Victoria after. If we're going to do a quick rev to the plans for those spillways, we can kind of search around for appropriate spots to add more trees, and we'll get to a count. And if there's some left over, we can talk about other ways to take care of that.
That's perfect, because that is something that we've discussed, and we're thinking of imitating the Rochester bylaw as well. So that's something that has been in discussion. So
Arian's
yes,
favorite part of that bylaw.
yeah. As far as I'm concerned, if you can replant as many as you can, and then what you can't, we'll get together and see what else we can do regarding that.
Sounds right.
What was that one?
I was just confirming the species
Oh,
was
yeah,
already
yeah,
planted there,
yeah.
and we just had to update the plans to remove the panels.
I have one other question that just came to mind here, is the decommissioning bond. How is that created? Is this the decommissioning today, or is this the decommissioning after the 20-year escalator?
So there's a third party that came in and did it for us, a company called MBL that was reviewed by GAF, who kind of signed off on the appropriate number. That number is then escalated out for a period of 20 years based on a 2 or 3% annual compounding escalator. And then that number, the 20-year number, is the number that's bonded.
So that's the number that I see here, the 348 is the final number.
I don't know off the top
You
of
don't
my
know
head,
off the
but
top yet?
It's
Okay.
the higher number. What we do is we provide two numbers. We basically get a contractor to say this is what it would cost to take it out today, and then we just escalate that number out for 20, 25 years.
You don't have that with you, those numbers?
I could pull them up if you want to see them.
I would.
Yeah.
Was that in here? October?
I thought it was earlier than that, maybe August.
Yeah. 1022, Victoria, if you're looking as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Maybe not 1022.
Yeah, I just searched the document. I don't see it in that one. I think it was earlier.
Sorry, my stuff's just downloading really slow.
That's all right.
Too shortly.
It's all right. Sorry, Brian.
Yeah, I don't think I have it here. I don't have access to all my files.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
While you're looking that up, is there anybody in the audience that has any questions? Nobody? Okay,
I have a question.
please stand up,
Um,
introduce yourself, please.
My name is Edith Combs. I'm the owner of 42 Clems Way trailer. And we had gotten notified a long time ago regarding the solar park being installed. But my husband has some questions, and he is kind of handicapped. And so is there a person in contact number that I could bring home to him that he could maybe call somebody on the phone and speak to them regarding that?
Yes, ma'am. I'd be happy to give you my information.
Anybody else out in Zoom land that might have any questions?
I do have one question.
Introduce yourself, please.
On Robinson Road. You're talking about the decommissioning that's gonna happen probably in 20 years. And
Yes.
my understanding was that when a solar farm gets decommissioned, it's supposed to be returned to the condition it was before the project started. Where he's cutting down 75 trees and replanting 75 trees, does that mitigate that he doesn't have to return those 75 trees to that area that's being cut down now?
The decommissioning, excuse me, the decommissioning bond that we require, which is what we require, is once let's just say it's 20 years, there's a few things that can happen. One, they can re-up and replace and continue. But if for some reason, let's just say they abandon, the solar company no longer wants anything to do with it, the owner, like, they don't own the property, they lease the property. So the decommissioning bond is for them to get that money back, or if they just disappear, we use the money. is to remove the solar panels, remove the framework, remove everything to where it's bare ground. Now, if there was trees there, like we're requiring these trees, most of this project has very little to no trees. The trees that they are cutting down, the bigger ones, we're asking them to replant now. They're doing that now. 20 years from now, when they go to clear this out and throw it away, and it'll be, that's all. They just take it off, they don't replant, they don't
It'll
do
just be
anything.
field.
It'll just be a field,
Okay.
yeah.
That
But
was the question I had.
it's
But what about
basic, it's
20-year-old trees from what he's putting in now.
Yeah, no, the trees that they're gonna replant, is hopefully they can replant as many as possible, whether this property or another property or some other place in town. We're trying to get that as, because that is a big deal with a lot of people, is, you know, cutting down the trees, the animals and everything, which I totally understand. But when the decommissioning's done, the solar's done, they leave, we gotta make sure that it gets taken care of and removed. So what they do is they put in a bond, and we do an escalator, so it's a 20-year bond. And let's just say hypothetically, it's $200,000 today, and then they compound that by, I think it's 2.5% a year for 20 years, and it comes out to like $400,000. They give us a bond for that. We hold on to that money until the end of the 20 years. They clear it out, we give them back the bond, everything's done. They disappear, we use the bond to clear it out.
That was just a question I had, but
Yep.
the trees, since you're going.
Yeah, that gets done now. Then 20 years, it'll just be the field once it's left.
Which is kind of a better thing, because 20 years from now, those trees are gonna be 20 years old
Right,
instead of just
exactly.
saplings.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
You're
I have a
welcome.
question too.
Sure.
I'm Kathy Rose. You were talking about the emergency access for the vehicles?
Yep.
Is that like a,
It's a
is
loop.
that gonna be in the,
It's inside the fence area.
it is, so
It's
it's,
all inside the fence area, so basically, it's mostly for fire. If anything happens and the fire department has to get to any part of the solar field, it's basically designed for and the fire chief gives his thumb of approval. It's basically for the fire department to be able to drive around the entire site. You won't be able to see it,
Okay.
it'll be within the fence line. They have a stockade fence, which you can't see through anyways, so that is within, it's between the solar panel and the fence line.
so they're not gonna be that in that buffer zone? That
No.
buffer zone won't be used for the emergency?
It might be in the buffer zone a little bit, it might be out of it, but yeah, it might be in. The buffer zone, the setbacks is 150 feet, which is what they're complying to, there's nothing in there as far as solar panels or battery in that 150 feet. So there's 150 feet all the way around. But that access road can be in that 150 feet.
Okay. So so that's what he was saying, that they can probably put that, but so then we'll have to put the fence,
The fence
the
is
buffer
basically
zone?
right on the property line.
so will it be in the buffer zone, the fence? If they're putting the,
No, the fence will be, so if you got a property line, the fence will be just about on the property line, then you got about 150 feet until your first set of panels. That access road will be within that 150
Okay.
feet.
all right. Okay.
Okay. You find it?
Almost, just double checking to make sure I have the right one.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's two amounts. The lower is the 232, and the 348. That's the number that's basically is out.
So you got 232, the decommissioning cost today, and then bond amount is 150% of cost. Was is
It's just 150% of that.
so is that number on a 20-year 2.5 escalator, and that's what it comes out to?
It's more. I think it gets to about like 33 or so percent, 133%, but we just round it up to basically make, so we don't have to have this conversation in details.
Gotcha.
But we bond the higher amount.
Okay. Thank you. Is it's in that same range of other solar fields that we've
Yeah, it was
done?
reviewed, it's the exact same group that did the decommissioning estimate for the previous project, and GAF reviewed them both and signed off on them both.
Okay.
And ultimately, we always kind of miss high because our costs are our bonding cost per year, which is basically 0.5% of the number. So it's not something where I win if I get this number really low.
Right.
I'm only saving hundreds of dollars a year, so
Right.
it's not a material item. And the decommissioning bond is only there if I default. I don't plan on defaulting, I'm gonna remove it. If it costs me $15 to remove it, that's what I'm gonna pay. But the bond's there just as a safety blanket if I don't show up.
Absolutely, okay. We've heard from everybody else. Does the board have any questions?
On the back area that's presently wooded, what's going to happen back there for clearing and grading? And the reason I asked that question is that back area right now, there is some existing soil and there's some vegetation, and the runoff from the site tends to get spread out and slowed down quite a bit. But where we had trouble with the other solar array in back of Stella Lutz, they stripped all the surface soil off, they stripped all the vegetation off, and then springtime hit, and it was not pleasant for the people downstream. So,
Sharing with the board, this is a pre and post-construction conditions from the stormwater report that was reviewed. And so basically, we've kind of added some arrows, or Jeff has added some arrows to help show the direction in which water flows pre-construction and post-construction. And you'll see these watershed areas remaining very much the same size and moving in the same direction. So I think this is probably the best way to say that while there is some tree clearing, stumping, grubbing, and cleanup of the site after those trees come out, we're generally keeping the flow of water the same as it has.
now what about the soil cover after you're done with the clearing and grubbing? What's going to happen with all that surface soil that's out there now?
It's all staying there. There's no export at this site. All those organics are important for us to achieve our stabilization for when we plant the site.
Okay.
When do you hope to start?
The utility work for this project runs back to the Wing Lane substation in Acushnet, which is actually one of the first substations that's going to be complete as part of Eversource's regional upgrades that are going on in the Marion Fairhaven area, as well as in the Plymouth County area. So our goal is to start in April. We don't want to build in the winter. There's not a lot of tree clearing or site prep that we need. So the thought is that we can close this out, get our engineers working on the construction set, move through the building permit process in the spring, and then in April or May, break ground and go. We'd like to have this project constructed in about 4 to 5 months from when we start, and looking to turn it on, start producing power at the end of next year.
April's a good time to start. Any other questions, gentlemen?
Would you be willing to agree to a condition that the clearing and grubbing doesn't start until after April 1st? Springtime's tough, especially with with a site that's ripped open, that's all.
What was that, Greg?
I'm not too concerned with the front two areas. The front two areas, they drain towards big wetlands, and I don't really see that that's going to be so much of an impact drainage-wise. The back one, I'm more concerned about that the clearing be held off until
Yeah, I'd say
until it can be cleared and stabilized quickly. You know, the last one, it got ripped up in November, and they couldn't do anything to stabilize the site until after the wet spring. And it would be preferable, from what I can see, to not do that clearing until after April 1st. Then you can go in there, you can clear it, you can grub it, you can do what you can to stabilize the soil, and we'll see what happens from there.
Conceptually, I'm fine with it. I think when I think kind of from a practical standpoint or from a underwriting standpoint, we live in a strange world right now where the rules are always changing at the federal level, even at the state level. So I think while we don't have any intent to start construction prior to April 1st, I think there's a scenario where the wind starts blowing a different way and the federal government says, hey, if projects don't start construction in 2025, you lose your opportunity to participate in this or that. So I'd hate to hamstring the project in such a way as a formal condition, but I'd like to ask the board to kind of recognize that we don't have any intent to construct, even if we got approved tonight and by Conservation Commission on the 10th, it's gonna take us 2 to 3 months to even submit a building permit. So I don't think we could get there if we wanted to, but if threatened with losing this project, we can do anything. So I hope we can leave it there.
I mean, obviously, if they do clear it early and there's problems with runoff on the neighboring properties, then
I see where you're coming from, Rick, and I totally agree that I do not want to see another one of these incidences happen. The only thing I can say is that the differences between the two projects are that the Main Street project had, like you said, it was stripped down to bare in November. This is something they can't do even if they tried, like he said. He couldn't get a building permit until at least January. So even if he was under the gun, and I don't think they're stripping it like they did, they should never have did what they did. They should never have done what they done. Now, I agree with what you're saying, I understand why you're saying it. As far as I'm concerned, and again, I'm just a single person on the board, as far as I'm concerned, as long as they don't touch it and they try and they give us, that they don't want to touch it until April 1st, but if, something happens and they gotta go in there in February or March for whatever reason, I don't know if that's a reason we should hold them up.
no, I don't want to hold them up. I just want to make sure that they're aware that we all live here.
Yeah.
And if there is a problem drainage-wise, particularly in the spring, we're going to be looking to see that it gets corrected quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, I just say you guys are a commenting party when the building department goes to, put together the building permit. They're gonna reach out to you guys, and if I'm asking for that building permit on January 15th, like, you guys have everything in your power to walk over there and say, make sure this happens right if this is happening. But if that building permit application doesn't come till mid-March, as we expect, obviously you're all set. So I'd hope we can leave some discretion, leave some ability for us to make these plans built as they're supposed to be built, as opposed to conditioning the project in that way. And I think you guys all know how much I want to get out of here and get this thing closed. So if I felt comfortable, I'd say yes.
And like the other project, if we get one hint from a neighbor that water's flowing onto their property, then they're gonna be obligated to get tankers out there to suck up the water and empty the
Yeah,
retention
and I'm
ponds.
just,
And then it
I don't want-
costs
I
them
don't-
a lot more money.
I understand. I really don't even want to get there.
I don't either, but,
Either way.
yeah, no, I don't think anybody. So, any other questions?
I'm good.
All right, so, first, can I get a motion to close the public hearing?
Motion to close.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, this hearing's been closed. So, just to kind of go over what we've discussed tonight, you're gonna do what you can with your engineers to move those two spillways that are abutting the neighbors' properties. try to push it back, move them somewhere on a different location of the retention ponds, do what you will. And I'm gonna end up talking to the conservation chair, and he'll be the one monitoring your results. We talked about
Just to interject one, just on appearance, in terms of the elevation of the back two ponds, if the emergency spillway went from infiltration basin 6 to 5, I gotta put my glasses on, sorry. I'm old. It looks like the emergency spillways might be able to be moved around so that if there were a big problem there later on, the flow could go around to the big wetland area. It's an emergency spillway anyway, and that would hopefully take care of that situation. If the ponds fill up, they will eventually get over to that wetlands area instead of to the people's property that's around the backside of that. That's all. That's just a comment. And that just goes with what you said, Mark, is let's look at a way to get those emergency spillways so that if the basins do fill up and there is a problem, it can get routed around to eventually to the wetland areas.
And the chart that they just gave us basically reiterates everything that you just said. All the arrows move in that direction and flow in that direction. So again, I'm not an engineer.
No, and
I think their big money engineers can figure something out
Okay.
to kind
Fair
of help
enough.
that situation out. One other question, sorry, is what's it gonna cost to screen that front part? Because then we have screening sureties as well. So more or less, if you have a quote, what's it gonna cost to put the screening, those trees in that front area?
Trees and the fence. Victoria and I exchanged a few emails
Yeah,
on the drive down. But I talked to the contractor. In the range of 75 to 80 grand would be kind of the screening, the fencing, all that stuff. And
Yep.
so we had talked about half of that in the
Perfect.
40K range.
perfect. And then you will do what you can to try to relocate the majority of those trees, if not all those trees, within the property. And if the owner has any other property that you might be able to. And if you can't, then you will sit down with Victoria and see what else we can do regarding some monetary to finish that off with the other trees.
That's fine.
Okay. All right. I'll accept the motion to approve the special permit and site plan application. The plan set dated for November 25th, 2025, with the standard list of conditions and the following special conditions. To require a decommissioning bond in the amount of $348,043. To require a vegetative screen cash surety in the amount of $40,000. Just to give you a heads up, what we like to do is if we take a drive around and we see that the trees are dying and there's, Victoria will give you a call and say, hey, trees are dying, do us a favor, go out there, replace them. I'd rather not touch the 40. If there's 1 or 2 trees that don't make it, replace the trees. We got one that we gotta do on what you call it?
Robinson Road.
Robinson Road, thank you very much. So that's kind of the way we do it, instead of just, we're not gonna touch this unless we come to you and you don't replace the trees.
And just to be clear, that covers the cost of those kind of screening plantings and not the tree replacement plantings.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
That's fine.
Next would be to investigate relocating the northeast and eastern emergency spillways from the property line if possible. Again, I'm gonna defer that to conservation. To replace as many of the 75 over 12-inch diameter trees either on site or at another site within the Acushnet. with a planting plan to be provided to the board. Those are the four special conditions that will be applied to the standard conditions. With that said, can I get a motion?
I will make the motion to approve the plan in front of us over here with these special conditions included, as you just read.
I'll second it.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you all
Thank
very
you,
much.
gentlemen, I appreciate your patience, I appreciate the cooperation.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ray.
I'll follow up once your decision stands ready, just so you know when you appropriate acceptance.
All right. Moving right along, we have an approval not required. 44, 44A, and 44B, Cushing Lane, map 7, lot 26G, 26H, 26J, applicant and owner Raymond White and White Farm Inc. Representative is Kirk.
Abishant.
Thank you.
You want?
Yeah, from Bells and Thomas Inc. Please introduce yourself.
Kirk Abishant from Beals and Thomas, representing the applicant, as stated, and Cushing Solar LLC. I don't know if you have copies of the plans in front of you.
It's
We-
the folded one.
The folded one, yeah, we do somewhere else. Ready.
So we're submitting this plan for approval not required endorsement, looking to satisfy the three conditions typically required for said process. Getting through the list, we have, in regards to the way, Cushing Lane, it was basically created, and our lot was created by a definitive subdivision signed off by the town of Acushnet in 2011 and recorded. And what we're looking to do at this time is take that, acknowledge the frontage as well, that we've met frontage based on the new lot, and identify the vital access has been met. Currently, Cushing Lane is under construction. The bid-conk, 16-foot wide bid-conk plus the cul-de-sac has been installed. It's currently being used, and to access the lot, it's under construction. And basically, we are not looking to create any new lots. Excuse me. So we're looking to consolidate the three lots that were previously created into a single lot.
And you said that the cul-de-sac has been built?
Yes,
Now, that access point on Cushing Lane has been, well, was under litigation. Has that been resolved?
there's actually a note on the plan that there's a access easement agreement in place for all the parties involved to allow for access and utility. So I believe that
Has been
is how they came to an agreement.
Okay. Gentlemen, any questions?
I have none.
They're basically
Come back, get your
erasing these two lines.
Yep.
Yeah, just combining them, that's
Yep.
it.
It's just a lot consolidation.
That access point is also gonna be the access to the 1052 project as well, correct?
Yes, there's an existing access and utility easement on the parcel that we're looking to consolidate. And I believe they're also a party to that agreement.
Gentlemen?
What's the status on that cul-de-sac again? That's already been approved in 2011, you said? Is that correct?
Well, the subdivision of the lot, the definitive created the cul-de-sac in 2011. so
Okay,
It was
all right.
accepted.
So we're not voting on that at all?
We're
No,
not, no.
All we're,
no, just the consolidating the law.
okay.
And just to remind you, we actually voted on the roadway, the improvement to the roadway and the cul-de-sac
Yeah.
3-4 years ago.
Yeah, I
3 years ago.
vaguely remember that, but.
That's when
yeah.
it went into litigation and whatnot, but that's already been in front of us.
I mean, in terms of a Form A plan to consolidate the lots, I mean, there's no roadway construction involved, so there's no subdivision involved. I would make a motion that we approve the plan as submitted.
I have a motion, can I get a second?
Second.
We have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are you gonna stay for the Mylar?
Yes.
We need to sign one of these, when we get started on, you do the Mylar, you want to get started on that one, please? Yes. 4.
Four.
Thank you,
Yeah.
with your help.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
past week,
No worries at all.
very good to get it through the wire with the holidays.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, we're only having one meeting this month. so-
Yeah.
And then, if you could just get this recorded within 30 days, and then email my office either a copy of the recorded plan or the receipt that shows the booking page.
I'd be happy to download it and send you
Yeah,
digital copies.
that works too, yeah. Thank
What
you
can I
so
tell
much.
you?
That's gotta go back to Pete.
Oh.
Chicken scratches.
Yeah.
Okay, the registry will accept it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you guys want me to move these?
Mine's not here.
It's okay. You can do it.
Moving right along, under this, letter B here, minor modifications of approved site plan. East of Acushnet, New Bedford line, map 17, lot 22B, .13. Applicant and owner of White's Farm Inc. Representative is Matthew Connor of Weston and Sampson. Scope of the work, proposed modification of a 4.9 megawatt solar photovoltaic development, Park Drive Solar. Gentlemen, please introduce yourself.
Yep, good evening. My name is Zachary Schrein, Senior Director of Development at Scarpa Capital, and I have with me Matt Connors of Weston and Sampson Engineers, and I believe Sarah Hussain, who's an Associate Developer, also is in Carper, is participating remotely. Unfortunately, she's a bit under the weather today. But Before you, we were previously approved in 2023 on this project. Since then, we've gone back. We had a change in the plan set where we were crossing a wetland, and we've replaced the gravel access road crossing that wetland with a bridge. We've gone back before the Conservation Commission. We've been going through the review process. We've handled numerous amounts of documents with them. We're now basically in the final stages of getting everything over the goal line with them, including a site walk and the bridge company coming up this Saturday to go over the whole process with them. And we're on the agenda for next Wednesday. So we're here before you just talk about the minor modification, go over the change between the access, the road that was crossing the wetland and the bridge, and any questions you may have. We're requesting a minor modification.
Go right ahead.
Yep. Matt, would you like to show the plans?
Start with C-103.
103.
C-103.
I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Zachary Sherling.
Okay, thank you.
So as you can see, this is the main entry now. Lambert. Here's the solar field. This is the access way between this solar field and the northern solar fields. So this is the same layout, same location, and everything. The only thing we're doing is switching from filling that wetland to putting a bridge over it. So, this kind of here. Yep, exactly. So the bridge, if we go to C-104,
Yeah, the bridge is about 340 feet in span.
so C-104 is a blow up. It's at 10 steps. If you can see, but basically this is the road coming down through, we have an abutment, we go over the bridge, we have an abutment, and this comes up and sweeps up to the northern area.
So is there any replication with putting in a bridge?
So we are reducing our overall disturbance of the bridge piece. There's, we have replication from Lambert Street,
Yep,
which is almost 2-1.
yep.
So what our intent was is to have that replication cover any of the minor replication needed for this area.
Gotcha.
Yep. And ultimately, our intent was to minimize the disturbance. Originally, we were gonna have a lot more disturbance with the gravel road going through the wetland.
That would have put you over the 5,000 square feet.
Correct. With the bridge, we're mitigating that. That is the intent.
So with the bridge and what you replicate, what you're disturbing at Lambert is under the 5,000.
Is under the 5,000.
Yeah.
Okay. And just so we're clear, nothing else on this plan outside of this bridge has been changed. The size of the fields,
This has been reduced.
been reduced.
Reduced.
Okay.
So if you go to back to sheet 103. So originally, this wetland flagging came in through here, right down in this area.
Mhm.
And this whole field extended this way. And all we did is we snugged everything up that way so we could stay out of the wetland.
Gotcha. And conservation approved as a minor change?
We're almost through there.
Okay.
Yep. Which is why we wanted to come before you guys today with the holidays and everything else, just to get a head start.
Yep. And there's only 2, or is there 3? So if,
There's 3 fields, so if you go to
yeah.
so this is Lambert, this
Yep.
is where we're coming in.
Yep,
This is the initial field, most of this is wet, so we're not touching that.
yep,
This is the bridge coming across.
yep.
This is the smaller field, this is the
That
field that we shrunk.
shrunk.
Yep, and this field doesn't change at all, it's exactly the way it was to start.
Gotcha.
So the initial megawatts on the field was what? You gotta refresh us, because we're looking at something new, we don't have.
So the,
Still staying at 4.95 or 5 megawatts AC.
I'm sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head how many panels we reduced it by. I thought it was in this. regular.
I wanna say it was like 13 tables, off the top of my head.
That was
Sounds
reduced.
It was
Yeah.
reduced by, and each table has
Roughly 12
12
modules.
modules.
Yeah. So the change in module is slight, but the other thing to keep in mind too is, module classes can vary a little bit, so.
So even though you're reducing panels, you can still, with the different panels, you can still generate the same.
Correct. It's just the physical impact of what's in the field is changing.
Right.
Yep.
Well, at least you went smaller and not bigger.
Yeah.
Bigger than there would have been an issue. Smaller, not so much. Gentlemen, open for questions?
I mean, it's a smaller field. The access issue was, we're all well aware of the access issue there.
We are.
And this is how it's finally landed. I don't have a problem.
I'm assuming the fire department already approved the bridge for emergency access?
We went 20 feet wide per the request.
Okay.
Yep.
Because that's your only,
That's the only way to.
that's your only way to get in there, right?
Correct, yep.
Where's the battery storage? Oh, here,
Yep.
Yep.
in the middle? Yes.
So this is the easement, this is the Eversource easement coming through. So this allows us to have a connection point. very
Oh, that's
close.
cool, that's convenient. Any other questions?
None from me.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve these plans as a minor modification.
I got a motion, can I get a second?
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In my opinion, this is mostly conservation anyways. I appreciate you coming out to get,
Yep.
running past us.
Just cross the Ts, dot the Is, and
Yep.
keep everybody abreast.
Yep, I appreciate that.
I'll write something up so you have it for your record about the vote.
Perfect.
Thank you so
much.
Thank you.
Have a good one, guys.
Wonderful night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along, we got a continued discussion on amending the business village district. This is just something that's gonna be on just about every meeting. Victoria and I spoke this morning. She really doesn't have anything new at the moment. We're hoping we had some discussions, do a little bit of research, and get us some other town examples for the next meeting, which is
January
January 8th. January 8th. So we're hoping to have a little bit more information on this. And like I said this in the beginning, this is gonna be something that we're gonna have constant discussion on at just about every meeting until we kinda, figure out exactly what we all want. So unless somebody has something they'd like to bring up and discuss today, we can. If not, we'll defer to the next meeting when Victoria will have a little bit of info for us.
I would just make a suggestion that, to advance the whole thing a little bit, that we start to put together a list of allowed uses in that zone, period. Forget about the name,
Yep.
the dimensional requirements and all that, but the allowed uses. I think that's probably gonna be as critical as anything.
Very good, I agree. And we can all come to the table with our own ideas and opinions, and we can put them all together, your likes and dislikes. So that's what we'll do. As far as that is concerned, anything else?
Yep. Also.
Okay, our next meeting is Thursday, January 8th. I'd like to wish everybody out there a happy, healthy, and safe holiday, and we will see you in the new year. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to close.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Good night.